Hey there, beautiful people. This is your boy Cody from the Media Depot, and today I'm going to show you guys my workflow in Lightroom. Okay, so once you have your image, the first thing you want to do is go on the top right and click Edit. From here, we're going to work from our way down. We're going to start with Light, and we're going to move down through the modules. So the first one you want to do is select your exposure and just bring that up just a little bit because this photo looks like it's too dark. Next, we're going to just bump up that contrast just a little bit. Now, the thing here is that you want to move your highlights down, and as I move my highlights down, you can see that it's bringing more detail in the clouds, and that's just because it's exposing more of the information that photo took. I'm going to do the same thing with the shadows. You want to bring it up just enough, but not so far that it starts to look fake. Okay, now with the whites. Okay, so the trick with the whites is that you want to hold down Option or Control if you're on a Windows, Option if you're on a Mac, and we're just increasing the slider until we see these absolute white spots. It's just saying the photo is absolute white here. We're going to do the same thing with the black, holding down Option for Mac or Control for Windows. And as you can see, the work's pretty much already done. So we're going to minimize light. Now we're going to move to color. Now see, with the color, you can select this eyedropper tool and you can select what's supposed to be white. It's going to white balance the whole photo, but as you can see, it's not working here. So what we're going to do instead is go over to the right side and we're just going to eyeball it. Okay, now here I'm turning up the vibrance. You don't want to go too far. Alright, that looks good to me. I'm not going to mess with the saturation, but you see this yellow here, it looks a little too abnormal, so I'm just going to select the yellow in the color mixer and I'm just going to turn down that saturation until it looks normal to me. Okay, next we have effects. I normally don't mess with any of these. I can bump up the clarity just a little bit, but the one I use the most is dehaze. I'm just going to mess around with the slider until I like it, and that looks good to me. Alright, so next we're going to go to optics if you want to mess around with that. Actually, let me go back to color because it looks like I'm wearing lipstick. And just turn down that vibrance. And when I turn down the vibrance, I'm also going to have to mess with the yellow as well. Alright, that looks good. Okay, the optics settings, you can mess around with that if you want to. The detail, the sharpening, I usually stay away from this stuff unless it's a blurry photo. Now with the crop tool, you can see here, if you want to, you can use the rule of thirds. You just want to put the person's eyeball on one of those intersections, but for this photo, I'm just going to keep it where it's at. Okay, so next I'm going to be using the healing tool. I see this blue light in the background I want to take out. And I'm going to use the brackets on my keyboard to shrink down the brush size. You can also go in this top right corner and choose the mess around the size there. I just want to make it just a bit bigger than what I'm trying to take out. And I'm just going to click when I'm ready, and boom, I'm happy with that. And next we're going to go down to the brush tool. So with this tool, we're going to go over, and normally people just use this to whiten people's teeth. So we go to 1-1, and we're just going to scroll down, and we see that there's saturation. Okay, that looks good. We're just going to brush the teeth right here. Brush the teeth. Alright, we got that. Now, a common misconception, people think if you want to whiten teeth, you want to bring up the whites, but that actually makes it look like my teeth will glow in the dark. So what you want to do is actually turn down the saturation. You want it to go to the point where it looks a little bit unnatural and then go a little bit back. That's good. Next we have the rectangle gradient tool, but actually I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the radial gradient tool. I'm going to go down here to the bottom right and click fill. And what you want to do is on this right side, make sure that everything is reset. So I'm just going to double click on the saturation and it'll reset it. And you just want to make a circle around the subject. Make it a bit bigger. Alright, so now we're going to mess around with the exposure, and this is not what we want. So you can see what it's doing here. What we want to do is press invert, and that's what you want right there, is to bring down exposure a little bit and then just bring it up just a tad to make more light on the subject. And what this is doing is directing the viewer's eye to the subject. And with that, now you know a simple workflow for your photos in Lightroom. Here's a before and after of what we did. And if this helped, then give us a thumbs up, or if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. We'll be back with you in another tutorial later.